Hey Scrappin Ames fans, and welcome back to another Sunday Scraplift Sisters video for you. We've had a bit of another hiatus. We're getting slowly into the rhythm of things, but we are doing our Sunday Scraplift is the lovely Audrey Yeager, and I think she's just done the summer Scrappin series. I think this one is part of. So what I've got here is a pattern paper here from I think it's the Maggie Holmes Shine 12 by 12 paper pad, and I've just added some white gesso to the background here, just to, as she did, just mute it down just a fraction, just so you can still see the pattern obviously in the background, but just so it's not as in your face. Now I've got some tags here. Now I had a slight problem with scrap lifting this one. I didn't think I would have, but I did. And I actually had to cut these tags out on my silhouette cameo because I don't have as many fancy tags as I thought I did. So that is what I did. So I didn't measure them very well when I did my cutting of them. So I have to play around with them just a fraction. And yes, but you know what? What's a scrap lift without, having your own little spin take on it, I guess. So that's what I have done here. And what I am doing is I roughly drew a bit of a sort of semicircle as the lovely Audrey does. And now I am just going to roughly draw some sections between each of my tags. Again, following the same sort of sequence as Audrey does in her scrap lift, which I will link the video down below for you so you can see how she does it. She does it in a much more nicer looking way than I do. And her tags are much skinnier, I think, than mine. Mine have kind of got this double side to them almost. But I do try and do a bit of an alternating pattern with mine, as mine's got those double one and then the one with the word on the bottom as well. So yes, but that's okay. And I'm using a white pen because it does stand out. While you can't see it at the moment, it does stand out a little bit when I add the distress oxides, which is what I'm adding shortly to my page. Or you can kind of sort of see it there when you press down a little bit. You can see the white standing out, just that fraction. Now, as I said, this is sort of a bit delayed. I think this will be the second week that we have missed our series, but Lauren and I are slowly getting into the groove of it. So I think what we're going to do is move this to a bit of a fortnightly pattern for those of you who are following along, just so that we can get a bit of a schedule happening, just to fit in with some of our other work as well as life work, and also so that we've got enough people to scrap lift and things like that. So yes, so we can get a bit of a schedule happening as well. So Audrey goes with a bit of a rainbow feel because it's a summer series, so that's what we're going with. Now I haven't got a yellow in my Distress Oxide inks, so I replace mine with purple. Yes, which she does the other way around. So what we start with is a bit of a concentrated colour at the top and try and go with a bit more of a lighter faded colour of this Distress Oxide to go with sort of like the sun's rays towards the bottom of the ray piece here, if that makes sense. And I'm just using the white A4 paper here to try and not blend the two together, like the colours together in each section, just to give a bit of a border there as best as possible. Mine's not perfect. It's probably not as beautiful, obviously, as Audrey's. That's why is a scrap lift, I guess. And it's not measured perfectly. I did try, and I think I went with about 4 centimeters, I think, were my measurements between the two, like each color, I think, yeah, I don't know, something like that. So I just kept this in just so you could see. I wasn't going to, and then I did, just so you could see how it works, how the pattern works. Just if you're if you're coming across this because you've seen the distress oxides used, just so you could see how they are used. So I did use different dauber heads, or however you say it, on my ink daubers here. So I've got the one that has the Velcro at the end, and your sponge pads sit at the end, and you can take them off. I'm actually contemplating thinking about getting some from scrapbook.com, where you've got the container and they're all different colours. Not that I have a heap of oxides, but I think I'd really like to get into them and find all the different ways that you can actually use these, because they're really cool to have. That's why I started getting them, because I discovered when they first come out all the different ways they could be used. So yeah, that's how I'm using mine, just using different dauber heads to put them on. Now, another trick Audrey uses in her project is she splatters some water onto the inks to kind of activate them and give them this splattered kind of look. Again, mine didn't probably go as well because my mist bottle wasn't the same as hers, but as you can see, it's giving that sort of splattered look. So just mopping it up a little bit with the paper towel. Another good reason why to add the gesso, I guess. I add a little bit more blue there because it sort of faded a little bit, it looked like. I also tried spraying with my mister bottle, just a fine spray. Didn't quite work as well as just flicking the mist, the head of the bottle off. Next was to water down those inks. So I got the ink pad and smooshed it onto the ice cream container lid, sprayed some water onto it, and then using these paintbrushes here, here you'll see me do it, I just basically flicked some colour and whatnot all over the tags just to give them different colours. So it's going with the tone-on-tone effect, is the way that Audrey does it in her layout. So obviously Scraplift, I'm doing the same here. I'm not great with this fan brush. I thought it would be so much easier to do splatters than it is. I'm not sure if I'm just not using it right. But, oh my gosh, sometimes things are not as easy as you seem to think. But yes, that's okay. We all live and learn. So there's all my tags, all decorated, all lovely. So they're not lots of ink all over them. It's just some splatters here and there, just to add some pops of colour to give that tone-on-tone look, as you can see there. Now, because my tags are really big, I also was really conscious of that when I sectioned out each rainbow ray of sun, ray of colour. So I tried to make sure that there was plenty of colour, ink, oxide, smooshed onto the page so that pokes through behind the tag. And this is my photo I am scrapping. It is a photo of me when we were away about 12 months ago now. Take me back, please. Sitting by my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's pool. I think it was Australia Day actually, so it was like pretty much 12 months ago. And literally just relaxing, enjoying some quiet time as such. I don't know where the kids, they might have been swimming, and just, enjoying some peace and quiet on Australia Day. I might have had some scrappy stuff out from memory on the table, but yeah, just chilling. So that's what I'm scrapping today. This photo keeps coming back to me, and I just thought, yep, I need to get it scrapped. It was one of the last remaining photos of the January holiday that needed to be scrapped for that period, and I just wanted to get it done and be able to move on. So yeah, this was perfect. So I'm just grabbing some Project Life cards that are sitting in my trolley next to my desk, and just like Audrey did, she grabbed some from a kit she had and just popped them behind to add some layers of colour behind her photo. That's what I'm doing here. And then I realised that by doing that, one side would be rounded and one side would actually be cut, so it would be like a square, So then I had to round off the corner. I was like, oh my God. I kind of felt like this project was not working from the get-go. And it was my idea to do this. So Lauren and I take turns at picking who does, like, which week we're doing what, or which person to Scraplift, and this was my idea. And yep. So my tags, I didn't have the tags I thought I had. What else? Then, the photos here, it just didn't feel like it was working for me this time. So, but it worked. I got it. It's done. The layout is complete. I like it. Can't say it's my favourite, but I did it. So we're moving on. And I've been really dying to use this hashtag MeTime wood veneer. It came in one of my Kidaholic kits, like, I can tell you probably months, 12 months or more ago, and I have not used it. And it's just been sitting in my stash, and it's desperate to be used. So here is the perfect time. It just goes to show, like, I take selfies of me, and you would see if you follow me on Instagram, I take selfies of me scrapping or whatever, but I don't ever document them. So here we are, documented. Something to always keep in mind, I guess, guys. You know, we may take photos, but we don't actually document them in our albums. So I still haven't popped down my tags yet. Now, one other thing that Audrey does that I don't do, which would look lovely if I could do it, but I'm not a sewer. So she gets her sewing machine, can't even talk, sewing machine, and stitches all the way through the holes, and that in like a concentric circle. I'm not a sewer, so I'm missing that bit. But that's okay, guys. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We have to move away from the thought of being perfectionists. And at first, I did have to say at first, I was like, oh my God, I can't do this Scraplift. But I'd already started to commit to it, putting in pages. So I just went, you know what? And I had watched the video beforehand, and it just didn't dawn on me. I thought it'll be fine, you know, whatever. But it's just the mindset I was then in. But it's okay. You know, it's okay to miss a step. This is my Scraplift, and Lauren might do something different because she does stitching and things like that. And I think she has a sewing machine. I think she do, Loz. But yeah, I don't. So that's cool. You know, if you do a Scraplift, that's okay to do a Scraplift, and, you know, not necessarily have the same tools as the person you are copying, like so. Alright, so committing now to my layout, and I'm just going to start sticking down my tags. Now this bit got a bit tricky as well, making them line up properly and following that circle that I had sort of roughly drawn, because then once the oxide inks had dried and things like that, I couldn't quite see the circle, the line I had drawn for them. So that was fun. I had laid them all out, actually, funny story. I laid them all out and then had run out of time, so I had to come back to the layout a couple of days after I'd started and realised the one on the blue, which you may see actually in this, I'm not sure, was not sitting at the right angle. So I had to actually peel it up and put it properly the right way. It was off-centred to the others. So that was fun. I didn't rip anything, thank God, but yeah. So I'm just adding some double-sided foam tape here. So I popped all of the tags up on this. I think because Audrey stitches hers with the sewing machine down, like across the top of the tag, it does make the tag stick up a little bit. So I think she pops in some double-sided tape up underneath the bottom half of her tags just to give them that lift anyway and give that bit of dimension to the layout. So I think from memory that was the same in the video. So because I don't stitch, I'm just going to add that in by itself anyway. And again, because I haven't got the stitching going across, and I didn't actually have any white thread, I decided to do, again, that tone on tone that's going for on this layout and pretty much match up. I was really lucky that I did have twine that matches the colours of each of these oxide inks and put them through the hole in the tag. Pretty certain I cut the rest of this out. I don't think I make you watch this. I was sure I cut this out, but then, I do. I was going to say, I was certain I did. So here we go. Now, as you can see, the lighting's changed and I've had to come back to a few days, and I mean literally a few days later. And now I'm just playing with embellishments. I've pulled out one that was from a sticker pack, or die cut pack from Aldi. It's a bit of a summer theme, but the embellishments are really big, so I got stuck a little bit with what to use. I also pulled out some from Flutterby Designs, because I originally was going to go with a all about me kind of feel, but then I moved a little bit more to the summer feel because that was what Audrey's scrap layout was about. So I wanted to keep with that kind of theme as well. The Scraplift theme was that, as you can see here. So I've gone with watermelons and hearts, and I did go with tying in with a little bit of me as well, like about me, you know, with Hey Girl and those sorts of things. So yeah. And then I had to pull out some more embellishments elsewhere because I ran out of, I didn't have any purple embellishments. I was struggling to find purple embellishments to put on that purple tag. That was really challenging. I knew I had some that would be fitting for summer. I know I had some kicking about that were summer ones. But yeah, as I said, I really struggled with the purple. So here I'm looking through, literally just going purple, 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 purple. You know, where are my purple ones? But then I came across some of these other ones that were, this one's the Ames range, I think, from Simple Stories. So they had a bit more all about me kind of things. So I stuck some of those on as well as some nice little florals and things like that. Not so much summery, but just nice as well. So I stuck with that as well. You know, and it wouldn't be a layout for me without doing something of my own, adding my own flair to it. I do that with sketches. I do that with scrap lifts. Anything really, I just have to add. I can't help it. It's just me, really. Oh, that's right, Amy Tan. This is Amy Tan's sticker book. And that's where I think I pulled some of these purples from. I was like, yes! And some things are a little random, but you know what? That's okay. It works. We're going with the summery girl, all about tone kind of effect. So this video is a bit longer. I just kept some bits in just so you could see how certain techniques I did were done, especially because it's a scrap lift, and especially because I'm using the oxide inks, things like that, and because, you know, some of you who are watching this are like me and a bit newish to things, a bit of a novice as well. So I know it's good to see someone doing it that, you know, doesn't always have a clue. That's me. So yeah, so I hope that this has kind of helped, as well as, you know, always giving a different outlook on someone else's way of doing things, which is always fun. I'm just adding some 3Dness here with some puffy stickers. I just wanted to add some dimension here, just using different things. I just went through and found some like puffy stickers with different colours on them, whether it be hearts or little funky like watermelons or things like that, and that just finished off the tags quite nicely. Then I add some journaling, some dates, a date stamp, and I think I call this done. So the end will have lots of close-up snaps of my layout. As I said, in the description box we'll have a link to Audrey's video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in another fortnight with another Scraplift video. Be sure to check out Lauren's on her channel, on Scrappy Cheeky Lauren. I'll add a link to her channel as well, and you can check out her videos there. And as always, I always thank you so much for stopping by and being a part of my channel. It's always nice to see new subscribers and seeing people that have watched my work. Bye guys.